Well, before anybody gets offended about what I'm about to say, I'll tell you this right now. It takes a lot of balls to go broke farming. There, I said it. Well, good day, folks. Welcome back to the farm. We're in the greenhouse this morning. I'm not doing any projects in here. I just happened to be walking by and I heard a noise and I thought maybe there was a bird stuck in here because the front patio door was open, but I don't see anybody. So I'm going to sneak back out and carry on with my morning chores. What's happening on the farm today? Well, we've got a gentleman coming over here shortly, and he's going to be the guy that builds the pad. So we're going to build a gravel pad right here where the barn is going. We want to get that done now while the ground is still obviously not frozen. And so there's going to be a little bit of work to get that leveled. It looks level to the naked eye, but I bet you if you shoot a line, there's probably, from that corner to that corner, probably close to a 2-foot elevation difference. So there's actually been lots of excitement and chatter about the barn build. And with that, I feel obliged to tell you, I guess add a little context to the story, because this project would not be possible at all with solely farm income. And I'm thinking, even if we're looking at multi-year financing, there's probably limited ability to succeed with that project over 25 or 30 years and on payback, right? Maybe we could, maybe we couldn't. But the reality is that comes from off-farm income. And I think there's a lot of projects that happen on small farms that are like that. I was actually reading an article to that respect this morning that talked about, how we overly romanticize, the homestead or the small farm kind of lifestyle. And we don't really attach, the dollar figure, the stress, the hours, all of the actual less tangible costs that come with it. And so that's why we're seeing farming, really just kind of declining, is because it's, the brochure versus reality aren't really, in tune with each other. They're not really aligned. But anyways, so our project, yes, know full well going into it that we're going to have to pay for it with off-farm income. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that because, the reality is that we're going to add to the overall land value of our home. And so while we'll maybe never be able to reap the benefits of that in our lifetime, definitely our kids will be able to reap the benefits of that downstream. And that's, for young people or new people into agriculture getting in, one of the biggest roadblocks is the fact that they just don't have land, they don't have infrastructure, they don't have equipment or machinery. And so if I've got to live down here for the rest of my life so that my kids can, get at least 1 foot up in agriculture, because the agricultural lifestyle and a lot of the principles are very important to us. So to have them have that foothold, for the next generation is very important to us. And so I'm willing to make a sacrifice today and for the next, however many years I'm going to live at least, for our children to be able to, know the love and the passion, the connection to the land, familiarity with the food chain that I understand, but maybe I won't be able to realize in my lifetime. So the guy that's going to build the shop pad has been here. He's took a look at it. We've agreed. This is kind of the high spot. There's a low spot over here behind the horse trailer, and then there's another low spot right over there where the corner of the fence is. And he's looking at it and thinking, man, we need some fill. And we've got a couple of dugouts in the property where the soil that was dug out is still there and piled, and so we could retrieve that fill without having to go too terribly far. But then we're looking right here within the horse pasture, and a lot of the water runs down kind of from where the horse shelter is, and it's going to want to sit there right beside the barn. And that's, big picture wise, that's not good. That's not what we want at all, because then we'll just have a big pool of water beside the barn. So he's actually proposing we strip all the topsoil off of here. We set it aside, strip the topsoil off right there, set it over there, dig a borrow pit out of that, and basically work a swale into it to allow this pasture to drain and go that way down the hill, as opposed to, pooling in an area where it's not favorable. And then all the topsoil that we've set aside will then just feather that out over the area and then reseed the grass so the horse pasture can recover nicely. We have good drainage, and the barn sits on good high ground. So every once in a while the question comes up, or at least the conversation comes up, regarding how much effort and energy we expend on doing some of this stuff and how we're able to do it, having to work, both of us work full time, we both volunteer in the community, we're parents, there's a lot of obligations that exist before we're able to do things that we really want to. And it comes down to simple mathematics. So if you work a 47-year career, 18 to 65, and you're going to work, a standard 10-hour day, 9 to 5, 8-hour day, 40 hours a week. Well, what is you're looking at 100,000 hours that you're dedicating to somebody else during your active years of your life. Now, okay, well, how many hours of that am I going to spend in bed? Well, you're going to spend like 140,000 hours sleeping in order to go to work for 100,000 hours. How much time are you actually going to allocate to working on stuff for yourself, for your family, for future generations of your family? If you can't spare 2 hours a day to build something for yourself, to build something for your family, man, you got your priorities in the wrong place. Now, this might come across as an unpopular opinion or maybe even a bit arrogant, but the reality is each of us, we're just a speck in the universe, right? And 10 billion years of planetary alignment doesn't just swirl itself around to land in our laps. It doesn't work like that. If you're not willing to put in the work, if you're not willing to put in the hours, the time, the sweat, all the equity, the dedication, the universe isn't gonna, you don't deserve it. The universe isn't going to deliver to you. You've got to position yourself to be in the right place at the right time. Now, there's a big reason, a second reason why a lot of people don't get what they deserve. And in fact, that's a polar opposite, but believe it or not, it actually yields the same result. And this is where we've got, the majority of people actually, believe it or not, this is the majority of people don't attain success because they lack the intestinal fortitude. The opportunity's there, they've put in the work, the planetary alignment has occurred, but because they lack the courage to simply reach out and take that opportunity after they've put in all the effort, they don't achieve success. Now, when that bus pulls up and they sit there and they look at everybody on the bus and they think, man, they must be doing some shady or some nefarious things. Well, then that's what really bugs me, because that's the kind of people they've put in the work, and for all intents and purposes, they deserve, good things to occur, but they lack the courage to execute, and then they judge the individuals that do execute, and that puts them, I'm sorry, but it puts them firmly back in category 1, where they simply do not deserve to reap the benefits. Anyways, if I want to tie this all together, big picture, what does it mean to be successful, happy, and still broke at the same time is, you know what, you're going to have to take some calculated risks and base those decisions proportionally off of the amount of effort that you're willing to expend. And if you can do that, well, even if you don't yield the result that you think you're going to yield at the end of it, you're probably still going to be successful. Now it's almost time for me to go for a cup of tea. So as always, I wish you all the very best. I hope you have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.